on my shirt again. But it ain't gonna be with this to get, cool. See how we can box again. The method that we're talking about here is to point out vocabulary building for you. Akimi means to establish. It's from the word, you say it all the time, call. You know, call to select. If I tell you call to select, what do? You stand up for prayer. You already know these words. Now you just have to associate them. Now, one of the things I do in some of my classes too is that I take the vocabulary that you already using. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Can you write that? Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Can you write that? Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salat. Can we write that thing? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. Word that they know. Can we write it in a sentence? Do we know the vocabulary of it? Do we know the grammar of it, etc., etc.? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Who can write it? Every student should be required on their paper to begin it with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. You can have every student writing with the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, in no time at all. And when they bring it up there, oh, you don't have Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, okay? Why? Because I want you to respect God. Building it along the way. You see? They know what it means, so why not have them to write it? First, let them practice drawing it. You know, those of you, when I put the verses up here, you weren't familiar with you wrote them down, you look at least you can draw. So my point is this. Use what's available to you. Take simple things from the Quran. So here, Akim as-salata li duluki shams. Establish regular prayer at the sun's decline. Which is what time? Maghrib. How many can write Maghrib? How many can write Fajr and Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib and Isha? How many of us can write the principles of Islam? You know, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. As-salat, as-zakat, as-siyam, al-hajj. As a teacher, you should be able to go to the board and write these 5 principles down, just like that. Put the English over there, so this is what we're going to talk about. And I'm talking about one word. As-salat. As-zakat. You know. As-siyam. Let me just give you a quick example. That Hajj. Just like that. You should just go to, and when you write up, you know what that means, etc. This is not just memorizing, this is learning the lessons. This is teaching language arts. This is teaching vocabulary. This is teaching penmanship. And also, you're memorizing a part of the Quran. Now, let's look at this one. Inna Allah kana sami'an basira. For Allah, or surely Allah, is He who hears and sees all things, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what can we relate that to immediately that we dealt with today? 6 and 50. 6 and 50. Right? And what was the question? Right. Are the seen and the blind and the seen equal? We got the point, right? That's one of the connections. Now, say if you say here, Inna Allah kana sami'an basira. Surely Allah not only hears, but sees everything. He's never blind. So don't think what you're doing wrong, He don't see. And don't think what you're doing good and right, He don't see.
He hears your thoughts too.
He hears everything. He hears what you're thinking and accepting. How was that? Well, we can't tell you that. That's the secret with God. No, but I'm just saying that this is something that you can quote. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 words. Now, let me ask you a question. If you eliminate the word out here, Allah, that means it's only 4. Now, how long is it going to take us to learn Inna? We learned it today already. Inna Allah. Did we learn it today? Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin. Right? So, there's Inna. Inna. Alright? Then there's Allah. Then there's Kana. And Sami, you already know that word, but you use it differently. Sami Allahu liman hamida, right? What does that mean? Allah hears. Sami Allahu, Allah hears whomever praises Him. Right? And Basira, vision. So, what do I already know about the subject is the illustration that we're putting here. When you see the ayat, see what I already know, what words I already know out of it, then eliminate those and learn the ones that you don't know, then practice writing it, when you give your class or talk about it, etc., if I'm dealing with a help class and I'm keeping it in my mind, I say, okay, we're going to talk about the senses. Well, this is the hearing here, the ear, this is Adonun is the ear, but what does the ear do? What does the ear do? It what?
It hears.
Samina. So there's a word that you learn there. Now also, it'll tie in with what we talked about earlier, because it says, Qalu sami'na wa ata'na. Qalu sami'na wa ata'na. This is from chapter 2, verse 285. Is out of that? It's a sentence there. And they say, we hear and obey. Right? We spend a lot of time talking on what? Obedience. Qalu, they say, Sami'na, we hear, wa ata'na, and we obey. Hey, that's just a quick example connection. Alright, now, we talked about this already today too, in terms of obedience. I just took this out of that verse 4 and 59. Remember we looked at 4 and 59 earlier? That began, O you who believe, obey Allah, obey His messenger, and obey what? Those charged with authority. And if you differ, this is in that verse, it's just a sentence I took. Now, why I picked this out? Because we have differences. We mentioned that earlier. The children are going to have differences. Right? And you say here, when you learn it, فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Now, if you differ among yourselves and have a problem, what should we do? Refer it to Allah and His messenger. This is you talking to the student, the child, etc. Now, this is a verse, a part of a verse to pull out, because there is a living activity in there that happens every day. I'm going to differ with you sometime. So if this comes to my mind, I repeat it to myself, then that's going to let me know if I differ with, if I have any difference. The first thing I should do is refer to Allah and His messenger. You see, before I start letting Satan advise me or somebody else, But who do we go first? Child, let me tell you something. Do you know something? Yeah, you know what? What do you think about this? So who did you first refer it to? You went over there and referred it to Da'i. That ain't what the Quran says. If I have a difference with Sister Zakiya, I don't go to Sister Zahia first. I go to Allah, then I come back to them. Inshallah. Allah and His message. Okay. Now here's another good one for us. How many of us get into difficulties? All the time. And if Allah had wished He could have all put you into difficulty, He is indeed exalted in power wise. Now, I had also put out, besides this, blind. Because we dealt with the blind today, right? Now, if I look at it like this, if Allah had wished, He could have all made you blind. With blindness is a difficulty, right? You have people who are blind as what? What's a bat? That's an old saying. Blind as a bat. Because bats have what? They have small eyes, but they have the radar that they hear with. Now, is it a possibility that you could have been done like that? Is that possible that Allah could have made us have little eyes like this that we could only see in the daytime? I mean at night, but we had extremely high hearing. Could that be a possibility? If that's what it says here. If Allah had willed or wished, He could have put you all into difficulties. You know. Now, what if Allah wanted us to have just one leg like this? Is that a possibility?
Yes.
What if He would have put our eyes on the side and our ears here flapping in the front? Is that a possibility? So even if I'm not making fun of it, I'm just trying to show you, you have to be able to reach the children in such a way to make them think. Is it a possibility? Should we not be grateful for what we have gotten? You see? So, when you're describing any of these verses like that, you write the word, learn the vocabulary. Write it on the wall, on the board. Now, let's look at the another. Now, this is a good one to put up in the classroom. For Allah loves not those who give to excess or who waste. Inna Allah la yuhibbul mu'tadin. In fact, it's good to go through the Quran and find all those things that Allah loves and Allah hates. And there's a book, I can't think of the name of it, that deals with a lot of those things. Just already got it. But you can just look up the word habbun. You see? And it's going to tell you what Allah loves and what it don't hate. Now, what do we mean by waste? What are some of the things we waste?
Paper,
Food.
Time.
Time. Energy. We just wasters. That's one of our biggest problems. We are wasters. Do Allah love wasters? No. Muhammad, why are you sitting in your seat wasting time? Don't you know Allah does not love a waster? Do you love Allah? Yeah. Well, He loves you too. But you think He's going to love you sitting over in that corner just wasting time? Tapping on the desk? Well, what's the problem? You know, this is difficult. Well, if Allah had wished, He could have put you into great difficulty. He gave you everything you need to solve that. Now, I'm going to help you with this. But I want you to use your own ability, because Allah has already blessed you with it. It took a minute. Technique, finish. You go to the next. You can use these if they are in your consciousness. But you know, what can I do about Brother Muhammad? Let me see. I'm trying to find something from him. Okay. Oh, bell. All right. Now tomorrow, class over with. You're going to spend an hour trying to find out how to handle Muhammad. You know. I mean, I have people come to me. Brother Imam, could you give me some verses for this? Some verses for this? Some verses for that? That'll help with this, that, and another? I said, you left your Quran at home? There's one in the library. Get one. But you know, it takes this, that. go and find it for yourself. I don't mind giving, but there are certain things that we can do for ourselves. And this particular teacher I'm talking about spent time going down to a school learning all the time. Be glad to trip on down there to go to these workshops and stuff. When it comes to my workshop, they can't show up. When they do show up, then they don't even do the assignment. Then they want me to look up everything, but it's in class. Yeah. As I spent time teaching. So you might think I'm hard, but look, you can't babysit adults. Can't do it. You have to have the energy to go and do this. I'm telling you right now, what I have down here, on here, anybody in this room could do. I have no power, no magical power, except for this magic wand. But it only works in the 13th month of the year. Now, the final one on here. He then that receives guidance benefits his own soul, but he that strays injures his own soul, which ties in what we were talking about today. You know, so don't think that you are doing me a favor or somebody doing a favor. You know, somebody think because you get guidance. You know, you doing me a favor just by listening. No, if Allah guides you, that's for your benefit. And if He leads you astray, that's still your burden. These are ayats that you need to look at. And these are just some I selected out. You can pull out ayats that speak to particular things. The only way you can do that, though, if you do what? Study, read it. You got to pick it up. You know, for the particular situation. And remember, it doesn't always have to be a whole ayat, a whole chapter. It can be one word. If you mentioned rain earlier. If I want to talk about water or rain, matar is rain and ma'in is water. You know, so you got the preschoolers, right? Yeah. All right. So if you take this mat, that is water. You might want to get also river. Where did I put river? Here. You may also want to get sea, bathroom. You know, bathroom. You know, I'm just saying, and just a small vocabulary. You see, and you may want to talk about the sky. How do we say sky? Sama'a, as-sama'a. And Allah does what from the sky? He sends down what? You may want to read that verse while Allah sends down the rain from the sky. I'm thinking of the ayat right now. And the ayat 2 and 20. 22. Yeah, this particular one I'm thinking of. الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء وأنزل مع السماء. Right, بناء let me go. Is yeah, let me read that. Yeah, that's it. الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء وأنزل مع السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم. That's the part I want to think of. And He has sent down from the sky water فأخرج, and it produces in it من الثمرات رزقا لكم, fruits for your sustenance. Okay, so say if you read that and you're going to deal with this water, the rain. See how wonderful Allah brought down the rain? What are some of the things that it does? It goes into the earth and it produces what? Fruit. How many of us like apples? How many of us like pears? How many of us like bananas? Alright, now after we do this, we're going to color pictures of what you like. What's your favorite fruit? What's your favorite? What's your favorite fruit? So I already got the fruit pictures out, right? So I said, I want you to color your favorite fruit. I want to color your favorite fruit. Now remember, you can't eat it. Maybe later on you get one. You know, you have fun with them. Do their coloring. You don't color the colors. You did with the color. You did with the Arabic. You did all of this in the lesson plan. And it wasn't a major thing. It's about 6 words that to learn in Arabic. You increase your vocabulary. You know, and as I said, if you can't look it up yourself, find someone. You know, we need like when Raouf comes in, he's on staff or something. He can come in and say, look, we have these particular words that need to be looked up. You know, until you learn. Don't become a welfare Arabic student. Welfare, because you know we have that welfare mentality. Well, here it is. Can you give? You know, do for yourself. Seems like I heard that for a long time. I mean, like, do for self. Heaven is under your feet. Dig it out. Yes, ma'am.
Another ayat related to rain 22:18.
Yes, that might be the one that I was talking about on the measurement. Let me see. 23 and 18.
Down water from the sky according to due measure.
That's it.
Cause it to soak in the soil.
Yeah. Remember the one I was telling you about earlier? That's the one. That the measurement, qatara, the measurement is that Allah directs the rain to the exact spot of the soil. Every drop has a direction. And it comes down loaded with nitrate. You see? Because the same rain could have fell over the ocean. But Allah directed the cloud. It's a verse in the Quran, the bear witness it. He directs it, calls the clouds to stop. They stop. You know, I put on a demonstration. You know where the clouds stop, you know, they be moving like the all white and puffy. And then one of them clap their hands. Boom! And then the water just starts coming down. And the children are laughing and say, but it's getting in. It's getting in. Curriculum development, lesson plan, etc. You know, I'm just sharing with you techniques on how to take these ayat and make them come alive for the level of the student. You know, and then again, you give them vocabulary, you work with it. You know, when you become more versed in it, then you can use the words that we. But if you never try it, believe me, inna Allah what la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Now, what is that translated as? That's right. So, something we got to change in there. Now, there's a word. Well, I won't use it. I won't use it right now. One thing I wanted to mention too. Where did I do that? You know, I had given, when I came in one time, I gave out the Hadith of the Week forms, right? Now, you see this book right here? You have this here. I brought this with me. I saw the Quran of the Raouf, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Now, I was just talking with some teachers a couple of weeks ago, and Imam, I was talking with them too. Now, all I did to show you that it wasn't magical. I went in this man's book, took hadith that he had already looked up and etc. for children, etc. that were related. Looked at what he said. Then I took out ones that were simple enough, broke them up word by word. I had a sample here. I don't know what I did. Oh, here, man, it's right here. I know I brought it here. Because I was looking forward to coming back in and seeing a whole year of hadith done. I was hoping to take something back with me. Oh, I guess you'll give it to me before I go, right? Oh, this is the original one to that. This ain't got. Who has theirs with me? There it is, right there. Okay, good. Hold up the one that we did, and then it's just. In fact, I did a whole book of those, as a matter of fact. Let me see. Now in here, what we did was paste them up, just like this, for the 5th week, and put each word separate, put each little definition. This chart needs to be made. I think, did you make this chart? Yeah, I think you did. Yeah. There it is. Week after week, Quran verse and etc. Okay, did I create these hadiths? No, these are hadiths of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, and the ideal is to teach it the whole week, and then gave a small little lesson plan for each one. Is at the beginning. Here's the lesson plan. First week, the best among you is he that learns the Quran and teaches it. List vocabulary words to study. Define, pronounce, and write. Identify any grammar which the students are familiar. Are any of the words already known by the student? Encourage students to share with classmates, friends, and family. How can a student practice verse and every day? What kind of results are we developing? Appreciation for hadith and Quran. Improvement of conduct and character. Utilization of Quran and hadith for Quran. A simple lesson plan. Now, something I wanted to share with you too. I'm going to make a copy of this. I was showing this to Imam Qasim earlier. This is something that was given to me by, I think, the Imam in Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay.
You get these?
We have that.
Okay. Now, what I was telling Imam Qasim about, I wanted to do with it, is make simple weekly reader things from our own experience. Not just our own experience, but how we want to do it. Say I want to deal with 3 attributes of Allah, 5 attributes of Allah. So we title that attributes of Allah, with information in there. Say we want to deal with a battle. Say we want to deal with Ramadan. Ramadan is coming up. And we'll put a small Ramadan vocabulary in here, a little statement about fasting, you know, a picture of the sun. We eat when the sun sets. We stop when this, you know, and just print it up, and we'll cover that particular lesson for that week as a weekly reader, you know. And then the little questions and answers, the matching, true or false, just simple things. It's nothing but a piece of paper. Fold it up. Now, this can be developed in the hadith of the week as their weekly reading. It gets at the beginning, we analyze it, we study it, we give an example of the hadith, etc., etc. Whoever works on this, and it should be all of it, say, this week you do it, your class can do it next week. You know, or work as teams. You know, we team up. You know, it's 4 weeks out of a month, okay, you 3 do it this first week, you 3, whatever. However, but what it does, it builds up what? Cooperation, research. Okay, what I'm going to get the Arabic here. What you do this, do it. Once you write up this. It's not nothing heavy. It's not nothing heavy. You know? So, I always try and look for examples, etc., that's going to increase it. But what we do is take it and restructure it to fit with the direction that we want to carry it. You see, that we want to carry it. Any questions on that? But I want to stop on that right there and go to the next section. Okay, let's turn to page 15. Yeah. This is a section here that we've already been dealing with. Istidham. Right? Istidham means what? Two questions. And the next two sections deal with it. Questions to produce, Quranic questions that produce thinking. You know, really the whole Quran produced thinking, but questions make you want to answer something. Now here, the first question here is from the 55th chapter of the Quran, and it's in several places. In which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ? What is a favor? Yeah, but I'm just saying, we're talking with the students and you're asking them, what is a favor? All right, if you ask a student to list favors of Allah, this is geography, or say we're in geography now. All right, and you want to use this particular idea. And there's a section we're going to do in the geography book. I don't know, mountains, rivers, lakes, land masses, rivers, canals, what have you. All right, and we ask, are these things that we see in this book favors from God? Quite naturally, we say, well, yes. Why? What do rivers do? What do lakes do? What do the mountains do? What does the land do? Why did Allah separate the lands? You see, I'm just building questions. Why are some lands cold all the time and sometimes warm all the time? And some lands have different seasons. Did Allah divide up the United States? Who divided it up? How many states are divided? How many are they divided into? 50 of them. Can you name them? If you had a chance to divide the United States up, how many states would you divide it into, and what name would you have given them? I'm just throwing questions out there. For their mind, to let them know what? That this thing can change. If Russia took over America, what do you think they would name it? We know that Alaska one time was owned by who? Russia. What was the name of Alaska before the United States took it over? I'm just asking questions. There's a whole lot of questions, and but it's stemmed from the favors. Some climates grow certain fruits, so we talk about the agriculture of that climate. But we need the geography lesson plan. Are these fruits and vegetables and things favors from God? So then, will you deny that? No. All right, let's look at the next one. Seest thou not those that dispute concerning the signs of Allah? How are they turned away from reality? Question. We already dealt with this word yesterday, right? Disputation, contentious, argument. The word here is yujadiluna. We dealt with it yesterday in 54, right? And here it is again. Alam tara ila alladhina yujadiluna fi ayatillah. Do you see not those that dispute concerning the signs of Allah, or those that dispute, that argue, contentious, etc.? And Yusrafuna. Now, what does that word remind you of? Yusrafuna. There it is. Oop. There it is. Sarafat. You know, which means to let flow freely, etc. But it also means, and when you look at it, it means to divert, to turn away. So the very same thing that the Quran brought you to be free and flowing, etc., you take on the opposite. And do what? Turn away. So Allah asked the question, how are they turned away? Now, how will we answer that and explain it? How are they turned away from reality? They dispute and argue, etc. But these are questions to provoke thinking. If we tie this into behavior and conduct and discipline, is there a relation here? Right? Because there disputation, argument. How many times we have to separate children from arguments? Is it the way of Allah? No. Or how did you get turned away from that? Here's one, FF 1482. Do they not travel through the earth and see what was the end of those before them? What lesson would that fit in? Geography, history, social studies, civics, science. Can we see a use for that? Yes. Let's go to the next one. Say, is it that you deny him who created the earth in 2 days? And do you join equals with him? Is he the Lord of all the world? Questions, right? Now, what would that be related to?
Science.
Science, what else? Math. Yeah. Now, if we look at this in math, how much math can we deduct from that? Can we do division from it? Can we do subtraction from it? Can we do multiplication from it? Can we do addition from it? Can we do algebra from it? Okay. Here's another question. Is it such a message that you would hold in light esteem? And this is talking about the Quran. This is talking about the Quran. When you go, another good thing to do is to look at what was before and after. Is it such a message that you will hold in light esteem? Do you believe in the Quran? Quite naturally, yes. How high do you hold the message of the Quran? That's another question. If I hold the Quran in high esteem, what would be my relationship with it then? What kind of relationship would I have with it? Obedient relationship? I mean, would I use it? Would I apply it? Just questions for us, and how to relate this Quran to that, this idea of that. Now, if I hold it in low esteem or of no value to it, how often am I going to use it? I'm not going to use it much. Not going to use it. I like it. Let's ask this question. If you had a bank account with $73,000 in it, would you just let it sit? Yeah, I'll put it in a CD account. Make more money. But that's not letting it sit. That's using it, right? Truthfully, wouldn't we use it? Okay. I don't want to put the Quran on that level, but that's just an example of having something that's valuable. Would you only check with your account once a year? Or would you be calling at the bank? Yeah, you use it. And have you made it your livelihood that you should declare it false? That's the following verse to this one. If the Quran is held in light esteem, it is not regular usage and etc. That means that there's lack of trust, that there's not faith in it, etc. So this question Allah is asking, have you made it your livelihood that you should hold it, that you should declare it false? Now, what do we mean by livelihood? The word that they translate here, rizqakum, they translate livelihood. Razaq means what? Right, your provision, your sustenance. What you get, what you live off of, right? Now, you got to make a living as a teacher, or in the community, people make a living as carpenters and etc. etc. You have to make a living. But just because you go to a job to make it a living, that doesn't make the job your life, does it? The Quran makes our life. We go to a job to make our living. There's a difference. I don't want my job shaping my philosophy for life, my ideal of life. I have the Quran for that, to shape my philosophy for life, my ideal of life, my goals in life, etc. I have the Quran for that. Now I can go to your job, even if you worked outside, in insurance or at a factory, I don't care. That's where you go and make a living. To get what? Sustenance, razaq, and etc. But when you talk about, when you talk about making a life, what do you go to? That's the difference. That's the point that we want to make here. I want to make a life, my life according to the Quran. And even the living that I make, I want it to be in line with what? The Quran. I can't go make a living selling narcotics or selling alcohol or forbidden things that Allah has made. But I can make a life from the Quran. Now, in relationship to that, with our functioning with the Quran as teachers, not only do we want to make our life like that, we want to make the children's life on the basis of the Quran. That's the point that we want to bring you. Because what? Why do people go to school today? Huh? I can hear you. To learn, to do what? To do what? Huh? Yeah, the whole thing is based on what? Jobs. Right or wrong? That's the bottom line. They go to school. When you send your children to college, what are you telling them about? Not you, but I'm just saying what they tell. Go to college, you can get a good what? Job. J-O-B. I heard one speaker that came on before me say J-O-B meant just over broke. I said I kind of like that. You know, because that's where a job keep you. Just over broke. You get enough, just over broke. That's it. But if we can instill in the children that they are learning knowledge to make a life based out of the Quran. The job, what you do to earn money and etc. becomes secondary to the type of life you would need. It has to be brought in. It has to be instilled. So the Quran then provides the philosophy, the psychology, the motivation for life. So that means that I have to learn the Quran in a way that I will teach life skills versus making a living skills. But they can change the market at any time. And we start early with the student, from preschool all the way up. They won't go to college or get into a college just so they can go get a job to make a living. They want to make a life, a future, etc., etc., etc. It's a difference. It's a difference. So again, that has to be a part of our makeup. So we need the math, we need the science, we need all of this. But if I can constantly make connections of this knowledge to the value of the Quran and what Allah has revealed to His Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, they're going to appreciate the information even more. And they won't be satisfied just to be, quote, a doctor. They will want to be an engineer. They want to have many talents. Right now, most people just want one particular thing to do, and that's it. That's it. If you study the earlier scholars in Islam, they had a combination of things they did. They were doctors, they were astronomers, they were philosophers. So you may say, all they had was time to study. That's what they needed to be. No, they didn't have computers. They didn't have videos and TV. They didn't have all of these learning apparatuses, did they? But they learned. And they didn't get one thing. And that's what teachers used to be. That's why they used to call them schoolmasters. But a real teacher could teach any subject. It made no difference. There was no such thing, oh, that's the English teacher, that's the social studies teacher, that's the history teacher, that's this teacher. No, they were able to do all of it. And the Quran, then, is a book that when you begin to study, invites you to look at knowledge that way. So don't restrict yourself. Now, let's go through these questions and then we'll conclude on page 18. But all these are from the same chapter. It was just a nice scenario here. A good teaching format too. Deal with arrogance and everything. These are humbling verses here. Allah said, "It is we who created you. Why will you not witness the truth?" Do you see the human seed that you threw out? Is it you who created, or did we create it? And this is a week-old seed, right? Despicable, some things called in the Quran. You can't even create that. We have decreed death to be your common lot. And we are not to be frustrated. What does Allah mean that by that? Can you stop him from making you die? You can't frustrate the plan of God. You dying. How many of us remind ourselves on a daily basis we're going to die? I have been reminding myself of that every day now. Not that I'm looking for death, but it keeps me motivated. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, live every day as if you're going to live forever, or as if you're going to die tomorrow, but also live as what? You want to live forever. So I had to look at the how much time do I have left? You might die tomorrow. Okay, get this done. You know, just when I start stalling and say, well, look, are you going to be here tomorrow? I don't know. All right, why don't you take care of it? But people put things off. I'll get it. I'm going to get it. Yeah. Only thing guaranteed to you right now is right here. We have decreed death for everybody in this room. Now, do you see the seed that you sow in the ground? This is the one you got to eat from. Is it you that caused it to grow, or do we cause it to grow? That's for the farmer too. You know, there's an ayat in the Quran. It's in the I think it's in the 18th chapter, a little story there that deals with the man who was bragging on his garden. You know, how beautiful, the trestles, fruit, vegetables, all the stuff that he had in. He was just so boastful. And I got this, you ain't got nothing. And you talking, you believe in this, I got all of this. You know, so the man said, well, it may be that my Lord, the one you say ain't doing that, may take all that from you. Oh, no. And he got up there. Not funny, but all of it was gone. It was gone. All what you brag on of your knowledge and etc. or what you produce, this is the sign of it. I don't care what we have accomplished and what we have acquired, it's going. The only thing that will remain, what Allah says in the Quran, is Allah. So, is it you that caused it to grow, or are we the cause? Here we go again. Do you see the water that you drink? Talk about water. Do you bring it down in rain from the cloud, or do we? We've heard of droughts. These are to the braggers. Now, do you see the fire which you get in kindle? Is it you who grow the trees which feed the fire, or do we grow it? This is a nice, I like this. This is a nice exam. You know, these are like essay questions that you can put together for the students. You know, you're going to do essays and etc. Ask the question and then have them to write about it. You know, it humbles the mind. You know, say if you put this together, just as an example. Here, we want to give an example. I want more than a yes and no. If you say no, I want an explanation. If you say yes, I want an explanation. Are you serious? Yes. Man, not to tell them. They look at it, they read it, and they have to answer this question. It puts on the student's mind what? A respect for God. It opens him up. It makes them think. You know. Then, after you give them that as an opening text, then you can go with the particular information that they need to know. You know, how the seed sprouts. You know, if you're dealing with the lesson of growing plants, human embryology, biology, etc. Then you can go into those. All right, if you don't make the seed, how does the seed develop? Where is it contained? Who gave it the house? What is the name of the house? Well, it's called scroll. You see. You know, in order for it to grow, where must it be planted? You see, in an oval. You see, what is the period of time that it grows in the dark? You know, these would be the biology questions and etc. on health and development. You see, and then they would extend on. But these questions right here kick off a series of questions that you can formulate from the textbook, but this is like an introduction, you know. So whoever wrote the book, don't be trying to steal all the credit. Okay. Any questions on these? Can we see how to use these? Everybody's tired, huh? Yes, ma'am. No, not really. It's just that you're talking about the different numbers. Well, instead of just saying the verse, say double K. It's just something that helps to identify something very well. Okay, well.
What clarification on that?
So are you saying that the letters don't stand for anything? This makes filling up space? No, I'm serious.
No, this is not wasting.
No, I'm trying to figure out what, because I was thinking the same thing, what were the letters for?
Well, you got the verse number 56 and 57, but you also have J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, right? There's two ways to identify. Okay, some people don't know their numbers.
So you said, like, if you want to identify which ayah you're talking about, say you move it over into some notes on the page, so you might say K on page 12.
Right.
This would be a reference for that verse.
Right.
Rather than talk about the number of the verse when they're using this book. So
Or double K. Yeah. Because it goes from the single to the double to three to the double.
like a footnote.
Right. You had a question?
00 on page 18. You have the ayat you gave us is 5664. Now you related another ayat 18 something.
18 and is that the one? I gave you 18 and 54. That was but that was relating to the ayat on the other page that dealt with contention and disputing, how man disputes. That's DD 69 and 40. And Jujad Oh, okay. That's in the 18th chapter. I didn't say the verse. It's a story about 3 or 4 verses. I believe it's in the 18th chapter. Where he's bragging about his garden and he says Allah destroyed it. Again, the whole focus of just selecting these particular ayats is to demonstrate that you have the Quran already. And you can do the same thing with your own research, because the whole objective is, when we finish with the workshop, can you leave here, go to your classroom, or go home or whatever, and research the Quran for subject matter that will relate to your particular teaching that you're doing, and the level. And then you, with your skills of curriculum development, lesson plan development, make it so it is digestible to the level or the age that you're teaching. You see, that's really the whole objective. You know? And again, we got the Quran. You got the dictionary, you got the concordance, and you have the Quran. But the best way to look at it is compare and relate from the Quran. That's going to make you more fluent, easy flowing with the Quran. You see, and then when you get to Fusilat. Fusilat is what? Categorizing, organizing, and arranging, and putting it in a logical order for what you're doing. And that's the ideal that you want to achieve with this. It is a must. That's why I keep repeating over and over again. It is a must, an absolute must, that we begin to use the Quran as a primary textbook for instruction. It's absolute, and to show that it's not taken away from what you already have, but it's adding to it. It's going to increase it. Somebody has to do it. We have to begin to do it. And as I said earlier, we don't want to just do it from a ritualistic point of view. Because there are books, there are people doing it, there are people creating things, etc. But does it fit what you're trying to do? For example, when you see a child do something, learning disability or picking up learning ability or behavior problem, etc., you want to be able to look at that immediately and address it from the Quran. Whatever it is, you can look at it and say, we can deal with this from the Quran, we can do this from the Quran, etc. When we start getting like that, it'll be just automatic. You will indeed be what is like an Islamic teacher, Quranic teacher. Because whatever you see, and it's going to help you grow. Because the advantage that you have, again, the advantage that you have, you are with the children every day, right? And if you're studying something and you are looking at it, you see that, and you'll see that attribute right in that child, or that development right in that child. You know where it is, and you'll know how to improve on it, how to embellish it, etc. immediately. And they're going to be teaching us. These students will teach you. Right? You know it. Right now they're just teaching you how to word it. But you can learn from them in a way that will grow your knowledge of the Quran even more. Because what is happening? Every child that comes in here has an influence from someplace, right? Whether it's TV, whether it's video games, whether the street, something happened. Now, when it comes in here, you got to address that. And if you don't address it now, you can't address it now, it's going to be addressed somewhere down the road with teenage gang problems, with something in this society. So isn't it better to nip it in the bud and do it from the Quran and give it direction and focus? Because the Quran is going to be, many of these textbooks that they have now, they're going to be obsolete. 10 years from now, when we go to the 12th grade and have a whole full school and college, whatever, these books will be obsolete. How many of the textbooks that you see around that we use when we were in school? Gone. I remember reading See Jane Run, See Dick Come, See Spot and Puff. They sitting on the step. How many remember those books? Some of you remember. Some of you don't remember those. Dick and Jane and Spot and Puff. The dog, the cat, and two little boys. I forgot their mom and father's name.
Dick, Jane, Tom, and
Yeah.
It's all good.
The point is this. Those books ain't even around. I haven't seen one. Have anybody seen one of those in the elementary?
But not affirmative action. We take that out because they didn't represent all the masses of people.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the Mexicans there, they didn't have the Chinese, so they took them out. And plus, everybody doesn't live in a house with a white been here, but dog and all have blonde hair. So there's a big movement.
Okay. So in other words, like I said, it'll become what? Obsolete. Now, I'm going to give you a guarantee. That Quran that you have will never become obsolete. I'm going to tell you that right now. Allah says that. It will be here. It's been here for 1,400 years. It's still exactly the same. That to me is enough proof and evidence that this is the book I should have as a priority for directing my future and my life. So, let's go and take a rest and work on those two ayats. And we'll finish up, inshallah, tomorrow. Huh? You need some homework, you say? No. I wonder if he's going to give us...